Hello, this is Andy's Golf and Travel Diary here with Bettyann Harlow here in Ponte Vedra Beach, my neighbor. Her and Bud are awesome people. And I was just out at Houston at the Transplant Games of America, and Betty, you could have been there.
I could have been there. In fact, we were going to go. We were thinking about it, and then we had other plans come up and didn't go. But we're going to go next.
2016 in Cleveland.
Right.
So Bettyann, tell me a little bit about your life story.
Okay, I was a normal teenager until I was 15, and I started getting pains in my stomach, and first they thought it was nerves and, teenager, and the doctors couldn't figure out what it was, and I went down to about 65 pounds, which is very skinny.
10 pounds less than you are now.
Yeah, a little less. And I tried to continue to do teenage things, and the doctors could not figure out what it was, and they gave me prednisone and told me it was probably ulcerative colitis, and that if I didn't have surgery for that, I would probably not make it. In fact, I had a friend that was in the hospital with me, and they didn't do surgery on her, and she did die. But I put it off until I was 21 because it involves wearing a bag. It's called an ileostomy, and nobody wants to do that if they don't have to. But when I was 21, they said that it had to be now.
It was time.
Right. So I had that and got along pretty good with that. I did everything, swam and just did everything, and had a baby, and life was pretty normal. I didn't tell people about it too much, which I'm kind of sorry now because it would have been a good thing for people to know.
So you got married then?
I got married and had a baby then. And life was pretty normal till I was in my 40s, and I found out I could put that bag that I didn't want to wear inside. And it's called a continentostomy. And we use a catheter, and it's nothing more than a buttonhole in your stomach. So things went pretty good with that. I had surgery on it several times, but I did well with that too. And in 2005, I owned my own business, and I was getting very, very tired. Actually, I had high liver enzymes when I had the surgery for this in 1993, and they couldn't figure out what it was, high liver enzymes. And I kept getting more tired, more tired. In 2005, I started getting itchy too, and just couldn't stand it anymore. And I had my own business, and it was just getting too much for me. And I didn't know why, because I wasn't that old. About 20. No, I'm only kidding. And
you're still young.
Yeah, still young. And I sold my business because I was so tired, and finally gave in and went to the doctor and told them I just couldn't stand anymore. I was itchy and tired. So they sent me to a gastroenterologist, and they did what's called an ERCP. They put a tube down all the way into your liver, and they found out that my bile ducts were closing up. And there's nothing you can do for that except keep trying to open them with stents. And it's called primary sclerosing cholangitis, better known as PSC. It's an autoimmune disease, and 5% of the people that have ulcerative colitis or Crohn's go on to get primary sclerosing cholangitis. My doctors in Greenville, South Carolina, where we lived, were treating me, but they knew nothing about it. We started going to conferences all over the United States. We went to Pittsburgh and Chicago and Denver, and finally we came to Jacksonville. That's how I became your neighbor. And we went to Mayo Clinic. When we came to the conference at Mayo Clinic, they were very knowledgeable about this disease, and of course they're a great transplant hospital. Mayo Clinic does more transplants than any hospital in the United States. I was going there every 6 months, and finally came down, and my doctor said, it's time, you need to be listed for a liver transplant. And that's the only hope, because with kidney you can go on dialysis and some of the other things you can treat for a while, but with the liver it does so many functions for your body, and there's no replacement for it. So I went.
So what month and year was that?
It was 2011, February of 2011, and you have to be within. At that time, it was 4 hours from the hospital because the organ can only last that long, outside of a body. And so we moved to Jacksonville. Actually, they've since changed it to 6 hours. However, we came down to Jacksonville and bought a little condo right next to Andy, and that was in July. I was waiting during this time, but during this time also we decided we were going to become active with the transplant group because it's such a wonderful thing that people, when they pass away, can go on and leave a legacy of saving so many people, because the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, the liver, the pancreas, the intestines, all those things can be transplanted, and they can also use tissue from a deceased body. And anyway, we moved in next to Andy in July, and nobody around really knew right away that I was waiting for a transplant. And August 11th, I got a phone call and it said, "Bettyann, we have a liver for you, and you need to be at the hospital within 1 hour." So we were very glad we were close. And we went over and they prepare you for it, and we're so thankful for the donor family. We have written to them but never heard back, but so thankful that somebody thought enough to say, "I want to be a donor." And when they passed away, then I received their liver, and I'm sure other people received their heart, their lungs. So their legacy lives on with their family. They do know that other people received their lungs and liver and whatever they could. And my surgery was 4 hours, and had a wonderful doctor, wonderful transplant team.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Wow.
Very quick.
Quick.
Yes. I had the head surgeon do mine too. And I went home in 6 days. Went out the next day.
And again, this was 3 years ago.
3 years, August 11th.
Wow.
We're going to celebrate in a little over a week.
So I was in a voices workshop with Tina, who was also a liver recipient, working on kind of like your elevator speech. Now, people that know you, that know your story, are more likely to become organ donors. But for people you meet in the grocery store or inadvertently, what's your quick story, 30 seconds or less, that you'd like to share with people?
Well, we have green bracelets we wear. I don't have mine on today. And a lot of people will ask about the green bracelet. So that's a great opening right there to say, I received a liver because someone was an organ donor. And that it's very important because there's 120,000 people waiting for an organ. And every day, so many die because there's not enough organs. And if people would sign up with their with their driver's license, with the National Organ Registry, there would be plenty. There would not be a need for anybody to die for waiting for an organ.
Well, it's good to have you and Bud as neighbors. Now, I'm interested. The Transport Games in 2016, what sports do you think you're going to participate in?
Well, if you'll teach me golf.
C'est possible.
Yeah, could be.
How about Bud? Is he going to be your caddy, or what can he do?
No, not strong enough.
I thought he could deliver stuff.
Oh.
Well, Bettyann, thank you so much for sharing your story and being on Andy's Golf and Travel Diary today.
You're welcome.
And you're very inspirational people. These are the best neighbors ever.
Oh.
And I met a bunch of your friends out in Houston. And again, make that call or go to the website, go to your driver's license bureau, and get organ donor on your license. Thank you.